A few weeks back, an old bushy mate told me cattle supply and demand was about to hit what he called a tipping point. That is, buyers could no longer sit back and wait for the market to fall. They'd have to open their wallets, get in there and buy. The reason he said this was the first law of economics, and last week the market tipped. The crucial Eastern Market Indicator closed Thursday at an all-time high, eclipsing the previous record set way back in August 2005. Now, a major factor behind the sharp increase in prices was a drop in young cattle numbers, but there was strong buyer demand across all categories. Trade cattle lifted 8 cents. That's about a 20-cent rise in just a couple of weeks. Jap ox and feeder steers were popular, and cows were also on the want list. Now, the strength is also pushing into the live trade despite two major problems. The first is the ongoing massive wet and the subsequent inability to shift cattle. And second, the permits issue with Indonesia. There's a nervous wait to see when and how many. Steers out of Darwin are quoted at $2.10. Heifers a fraction cheaper. The big boat arrives this week in Darwin, and there's some question if they can actually get the numbers because of the road problems. Now, the lamb market is described as soft and many categories actually fell. It should be noted, however, that prices are actually up 30% on this time last year. Our indicator for lambs 18 to 22 kilos was steady at $6.39, and check that mutton price, $4.71 a kilogram, up 22 cents for the week. And the National Livestock Reporting Service tells me that mutton price is an all-time high. Now to the farming commodities, and after that tsunami, earthquake, nuclear, Libya-produced slump of last week, reality bit, and the market woke up to the fact that we all have to eat, no matter what happens. So wheat lifted sharply, as did soybeans, and corn won a lot of fans after further speculation that China, not usually a buyer of American corn, is about to enter that market. And in New York, sugar confirmed its position as the most weather-sensitive commodity. A lot of rain across the harvest in Brazil reversed a recent trend. So sugar lifted to above 27 cents a pound, while cotton proved its volatility, bouncing the limit over several days to close with some strength, well over $2. And finally to wool, where the market was up fractionally for the week despite an influx of poor quality wool coming out of the big wet in the east. Pass-on rates for that seedy wool were very high, while China and India were the big buyers overall, concentrating on the medium to broad wools. The Eastern Market Indicator closed up just over 0.5% at 1,379 cents a kilo. And while we're on the business of farming, the Queensland University of Technology does more than most to promote excellence in rural and regional journalism. Each year it awards bursaries for master's degree courses. And I'm delighted to say one of this year's recipients is my Landline colleague, Anne Kruger, who's undertaking studies into the impact of natural phenomena on commodity prices. But for now, that's our look at prices.